So one last question and insight from you guys. We talked a lot this morning about the potential power of this community, and because we're leaving our companies at the door, right? Because it is the collective of all these people in the room and their experience, good and bad, right? And how do you think that as a community we could impact larger change in this industry through Infrastructure Masons? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I, you know, for me, the biggest opportunity I think that we have is really to foster the generation that are going to be following us, and maybe the generation after them, putting in place with partnerships with universities, the ecosystem that enables them to get the general education that they need to be smart, to be resourceful, to be clever, and then come to the industry and think of new ways and better ways of trying to solve for the same fundamental problems, right? We're at the end of the day, we're still solving fundamental physics. It's electrons in, it's heat out, it's bits across fiber. So we're still solving for fundamental physics, but there's always better ways of doing that. And that's what we need. And a lot of the, I think there's an awareness issue. I think a lot of young people that are going into school today, they don't know necessarily what they want to do in the future. Same as, most of us were the same way. When you went into university, you probably had maybe an idea of what you wanted to study. Is that exactly what you came out with? And are you doing exactly that today that you thought you were going to be doing? So probably not for the majority of people. So how do we give them the exposure, the awareness of what types of challenges, what types of problems, and what type of an environment are we working in? I think that most people still have no idea. I still hear it when we hire people. They're like, I had no idea that a person like me could get a job at Google. I thought that they only hired computer science engineers. And so it's that awareness, it's the building the ecosystem to where they can go through a program and come out prepared to step into the challenges that are going to be, in the next 5 or 7, 10 years. I don't know what those are going to be, but I'm sure they're going to be different than what we're doing today.
What was the original question?
How do we harness the power of this community to make change in the industry? You were testing me right there, weren't you? Okay.
No. I was listening to Joe, and I just kind of forgot what the question was.
That happens a lot.
He was mesmerized by Joe.
He was very thoughtful, and I was just kind of living the moment. So, I talked about this earlier today. I do think we're kind of at a crossroads in our industry with respect to Joe's going to keep building data centers. We're going to keep building data centers, keep building capacity. Everyone in this room is going to keep doing their thing. But at the end of the day, I think what I love about this industry, it is a great bunch of guys. I mean, you can tell.
And
we all
gals.
get along.
Yes.
Right. What's that?
And gals.
So I'm from New York. Guys is the same thing. Guys and gals, right. For those of you from New York, you know that. Really look at what it is we do. What is it we compete with? I tend to think there's very little new happening in actual data center infrastructure. We compete on services. And so if we elevate ourselves to saying that, how would we run our businesses differently? How would we collaborate? You already see a lot of collaboration on big projects. We talked about this earlier too, which was the network projects across the seas and all of that. I really think there's even bigger things we can do collectively that can really transform how effectively and efficiently we're doing what we're doing. And that's my belief, and that's my hope. And that's why I'm going to, continue to chug along in this business, because I think that's the exciting thing, is how do we really change what competition means?